Hi, I wanted to make a brief video to talk today about some things that happened. As many of you are aware, there was an assassination attempt on a major party candidate for President of the United States of America. Earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump was shot at and the bullets narrowly missed him. They clipped his right ear, and had he not moved his head at the precise moment that he did, there is a very strong possibility that he could have been killed. A person was killed behind him, and two other people were injured, and it appears that the shooter was also killed in a process to attempt to stop him from continuing firing. This, unfortunately, is a predictable event because of the way politics have been devolving in the United States over the past 2-3 decades. We've gone from legitimate differences of opinion to, unfortunately, those who disagree with us are evil and must be destroyed. It takes a lot to radicalize people, but once they've become radicalized, the unfortunate result is typically a de-evolution to political violence. And unfortunately, this seems to be where we stand as a nation today. Some of the first tweets and trending commentary in social media not were thoughts and prayers or an attempt to gather more information, but certain people saying it's a shame the shooter missed. It's pretty sad that people wish for the death of those that they disagree with, but that's where we're at. I don't blame the people tweeting these things because I think that the totality of society has been captured by now a generation of social media and instantaneous communication to dehumanize people and to look at people as the other. And it's gotten to a point where we no longer look at the people broadcasting as human beings like us, but rather characters to love or to hate depending upon where your personal preferences sit or what you've been told. And the reality is it's impossible for us to have any political change when we live in a society that has devolved to this point. We must take a moment of reflection if we ever hope to get out of all of this and realize that while we can be divisive at times, we should never lose sight of our common shared humanity. The next 48 hours, 72 hours are going to be a fairly pivotal time in American history. It's an opportunity for self-reflection. It's an opportunity for us to set aside grievances and come together, or it's an opportunity for us to double down in the divisive rhetoric and continue on a path of eventual destruction. I'm not sure which path we're going to take, but I do know the antidote long-term is exactly what we're doing in the cryptocurrency industry. Because in our industry, what we focus on is disintermediation, decentralization, resilience, and integrity. I think the time has come because of globalization and things like social media that we can no longer trust centralized institutions. We've gotten to a point, no matter who leads them, no matter what they do, what they accomplish, we are unable to fully trust them for a variety of reasons. Politics is no different. In fact, it's the epicenter of all such things. Regardless of who wins this election, there will be bitter division moving forward. So if we take a step back in the next 48 to 72 hours and we ask ourselves, where do we go from here? I think it's a moment for us to appreciate that in decentralization, we have the resilience that movements don't require faces. They don't require presidents and leaders. There's no one to shoot. There's no one to demonize. There's no one to canonize. Rather, it is the tireless work of millions of people who have never met each other, yet somehow collectively working together to achieve a greater goal and end. I'd like to live in a world of sound money. I'd like to live in a world where everybody's voice matters. And I'd like to live in a world where you own your own identity and your own data. And when you do things, You do things because you want to, not because you've been forced to at the barrel of a gun. To get to such a world, we're probably not going to achieve that with the leaders we have. We're going to have to wait and build and integrate. But the next generation, armed with the amazing innovations our industry is providing, amongst others, potentially could achieve real change. So to Trump's family and to Trump himself, you have our thoughts and prayers, and we really hope a speedy recovery. And to the people who have lost loved ones or have injured loved ones as a direct consequence of this incident, this assassination attempt, of course you have thoughts and prayers. And to all those in America, regardless of your political leanings, it is time for us to calm down, take a step back, and reflect. I hope that each and every one of you can find some wisdom in the contemplation of asking yourself, wouldn't it be better to live in a world where these things don't happen and we actually have our common dignity back? Wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where you can disagree without being disagreeable? And wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where, simply put, every year things get better instead of worse? We're very close to a civil war in America. Things like this bring us oh so near. If not for a few centimeters, Trump could be dead. And regardless of who the party picked as his replacement, it would create dramatic, deep, and perhaps unhealing divisions, which would cascade into the general election and beyond. We got lucky in that respect as a nation, and we have to ask ourselves, do we feel comfortable with our entire fate resting upon the shoulders of luck? I don't. And I don't think that's any way to run a nation state with hundreds of millions of people with as much power as we have. It makes no sense. We shouldn't be at the mercy of an assassin's bullet and the quality of his aim. The nation has to get beyond this. The nation has to heal. And the only way to do so is to restore trust in our institutions, to give them their integrity back. All of our institutions, the economic, political, and social. And the only way we're going to get there is by embracing technology that can't be evil, technology that can't lie to you. That's, I think, the great lesson that we have to learn from this. And I truly hope that people see the light. So thank you so much for listening. God bless and good night.